Los Angeles, the city of angels, a city built on dreams, some that shine bright and others that quietly break. Behind the glamour of Hollywood, behind the palm-lined streets, behind the endless California sky, lies a truth most people don't want to see. Every night, in this city of 10 million, tens of thousands search for a place to rest. On sidewalks, under bridges, in cars that no longer move. These aren't shadows. They're not statistics. They are people, with names, with stories, with lives that once looked a lot like ours. Some were teachers, some were soldiers, some grew up in this very city, until the system slowly pushed them out. For some, homelessness was a last resort. For others, it wasn't even a choice. They fell into the abyss, and no one reached out a hand. This isn't just a story about poverty. It's about the growing distance between hope and reality, between those who live inside and those who sleep outside, between the promise of the American dream and the reality behind the curtain. This is the side of Los Angeles we rarely see. They're unheard stories, and today we listen. Cut to busy LA streets, then to tense lining sidewalks. Los Angeles is home to over 10 million people, but for about 70,000 of them, the word home no longer exists. They live without roofs, without safety, without certainty. The homelessness crisis here isn't new, but in the last 20 years, it has grown into something impossible to ignore. Every year, more people are pushed out, as if an invisible door is slamming shut behind them. Why does this happen? In one of the wealthiest cities in the world, the answers aren't simple. They're layered. First, rent. Housing costs have exploded, leaving wages far behind. Even families working 2 jobs can't keep up. And when crisis strikes, an accident, job loss, illness, there's no cushion left. Then there's the shortage of affordable housing. Developments target the middle class, the upper class, while low-income options vanish. Waiting lists stretch years, and gentrification only deepens the wound. Old neighborhoods rebuilt and rebranded, while longtime residents are quietly forced out, priced out, erased. But there's another crisis too, one harder to see: mental health, addiction, trauma. Many on the streets are carrying invisible battles. But our system is broken, too weak, too complicated, too late. And let's not forget history. Policies of incarceration, redlining, discrimination. Decades of decisions stacked against the vulnerable. Today, we live with the consequences. The truth is, most unhoused people aren't lazy. They aren't weak. They are survivors of a system that failed to catch them. They aren't the problem. They're the result of a much bigger one. So we have to ask, are we building cities for everyone, or just for those who can afford the key? In the heart of the city, just blocks from skyscrapers, lies another world. It's not on postcards. It's not in travel brochures. It's called Skid Row. 50 city blocks, thousands of lives. Here, the homeless crisis is naked, raw, unmasked. Skid Row isn't just a cluster of tents. It's a cracked mirror reflecting back our social system. Every corner holds a story. Here, mornings don't begin with alarms. They begin with traffic roaring, police footsteps, or a fragile whisper of hope. Some line up for meals. Others sit in silence, remembering who they used to be. For many, Skid Row is the final stop. The place you go when every other door has closed. Shelters deny you because of addiction. Landlords reject you because of illness. Years without an address strip you of your very identity. Life here isn't just about food or shelter. It's about survival. Surviving theft, violence, harassment, even surviving the sweeps, when belongings are thrown away in the name of cleaning up the city. Tents are packed tight. Privacy is a luxury. At night, laughter mixes with screams. And always, there's the fear of losing what little you have. And yet, amid despair, there's something else. Solidarity. People sharing bread. Watching each other's backs. Community built in isolation. That's the irony. In a city that promises everything, those with the least give the most. Skid Row isn't proof of failure. It's proof of a system that never made space for the most vulnerable. It's a voice we've ignored for too long. Maybe it's time we listened. There is no single face of homelessness. It doesn't belong to one type of person, one story, one mistake. Could be anyone. Raymond, 54 years old. Once a printer. Once a homeowner. Once a father. When his company went under, he lost his job. Then his house. Then his marriage. Then his place in the world. First, he lived in his car. Still dressed neat. Still searching for work. But when the money ran out, so did the car. And the pavement became his bed. "I'm not lazy," he said. "I just ran out of places to go." One unlucky break, and an entire life unraveled. Then Lisa, 28. She came to LA with one dream, to be a nurse. Fresh out of nursing school in Arizona, she thought the city was her chance. But high rents crushed her before she could even begin. Low wages, long hours, and then violence from someone she once loved. She fled. She hid, until a subway station felt safer than home. "People think I'm a drug addict," she said. "But I'm just tired. The world is too harsh for me. But one day I'll finish school. One day, I'll help people." Inside her torn backpack, Lisa still carries her nursing books. Not because she needs them now, but because they remind her she once had a future. Raymond, Lisa, their faces don't fit the stereotypes. And that's why they matter. Because they remind us, this can happen to anyone. They aren't the problem. They're the warning. This crisis didn't happen overnight. It's decades in the making. Billions are spent each year housing rehab assistance programs. And yet, the numbers rise. Why? Part of the answer is bureaucracy. Programs are buried in red tape. Applications are long, complicated, filled with requirements impossible for someone living on the street. How do you apply for housing? Without an ID, without a chair to sit on. Meanwhile, permanent housing projects crawl forward, blocked by politics, expensive land, and neighborhood resistance. That familiar phrase, "not in my backyard." And instead of compassion, the city often turns to police. Sweeps, evictions, confiscations. A tent disappears one day, only to reappear the next. Because moving people isn't solving the problem. Approaches shift, housing first, enforcement, assistance. But what's missing? Consistency, courage, humanity. People ask, if billions are being spent, where's the change? The truth is, the money is scattered, fragmented. A patchwork of agencies, contractors, and disconnected policies. And the crisis continues. But change doesn't only come from government. It also rises from below, from ordinary people who refuse to look away. Across Los Angeles, small movements are rewriting the story. The Midnight Mission, since 1914, serving thousands of hot meals every day, offering shelter, counseling, job training, addiction recovery. LA Can, the Los Angeles Community Action Network, led by those who've lived it, fighting for civil rights, resisting evictions, building awareness neighbor to neighbor. New ideas are sprouting too. Tiny home villages, rows of small, simple shelters, each with beds, electricity, services. Not luxury, but dignity, privacy, safety. Technology lends a hand. Apps connecting unhoused people with open beds, food, medical care. Local businesses join in. Not with massive checks, but with something even more powerful. Jobs, training, a second chance. Because sometimes the first step out of homelessness is being seen again. And maybe the greatest solution of all is human connection. When someone is acknowledged, when someone is treated as a neighbor, not a nuisance, as a person, not a problem. No, these efforts won't end the crisis tomorrow, but they show us the path forward. That big change begins with small steps, taken not just by those in power, but by those who care. Too often, we treat homelessness as a personal failure. But if we look closer, it's bigger than that. It's not just an individual tragedy. It's a wound in the soul of the city, We've let a divide grow, those with homes, those without. Two worlds, living side by side, but worlds apart. Children grow up in limbo, learning without stability. Hospitals double as shelters, straining public health. Law enforcement and emergency services drain millions every year, far more than permanent housing would cost. When people live on the streets, they can't work. They can't contribute. Their potential disappears. And the city loses more than money. It loses humanity. Because homelessness isn't about them. It's about all of us. Behind every torn tent is a dream that once was. Behind every blanket on the sidewalk is a story worth hearing. We live in a world obsessed with speed, with success, with bright lights. But what does it say about us if thousands sleep under the open sky in the so-called City of Angels? Homelessness isn't destiny. It isn't just a statistic. It's a mirror. And what we see inside that mirror reflects who we are. We can wait for leaders, or we can start here, with us, with empathy, with action, however small. Because the true measure of a city isn't its skyline. It isn't the Hollywood sign. It isn't the glow of its lights. It's how it treats the people who have nothing left. We may not save everyone, but if we can save one life, give one person hope, isn't that enough to change the world? Even just a little? Los Angeles belongs to all of us. Even those who, tonight, have no place to go. We may not save everyone, but if we can save just one life, give one person hope, isn't that enough to change the world? Even just a little? Los Angeles belongs to all of us. Even those who, tonight, have no place to go. But here's the truth we don't want to face. If nothing changes, if the system keeps breaking, if the safety nets keep tearing, then the line between us and them will keep getting thinner. The tents you walk past today could be the roof you sleep under tomorrow. And that's the scariest part of all. Because homelessness isn't just their nightmare. It could become ours. This was Minimalist US. If you believe these stories matter, like this video, subscribe, and help us share them. Because silence is the only thing keeping this crisis alive.